Hey guys, how's it going? Today we are talking about composing with scissors. So it's Monday afternoon, I just got the parts done for the orchestral piece in time before leaving. It absolutely poured down on the way to the station, so my score and my parts are really wet. This is really annoying. I also feel it's kind of a British composer problem. Anyway, going down to Worthing, first rehearsal tonight. Before the rehearsal we had a meeting. So if you want people to play your music, then I think it's worth thinking as a composer about what you can do to make life easier for people. So practical things like making sure your parts are as clear as possible, but I've also tried to think what else I can do to help projects. And one thing I do is basically project manage with organisations, so fundraise, do marketing, logistics, all that kind of stuff. So it can really help get a project off the ground with people. So we had a fantastic meeting, really productive, and then we rehearsed the piece. And I'm delighted to say that they've just made me their composer in residence, which is wonderful because they're a lovely orchestra, lovely people, really looking forward to working with them more. Now the piece is kind of a 5-minute trailer piece for a larger piece that I'm writing for them. I've already talked about it on the vlog, it's the largest piece I've ever written. If you haven't seen it, then I'll put a link up here and you can take a look at what it's all about.
Just start it for me once again, please, the whole piece.
And I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit today about how I wrote it. As you know from seeing that other video, this piece I'm writing is a musical documentary about Worthing, and all the texts that I'm setting are texts that are linked to Worthing in some way. Now there are two main texts that I've used in this particular piece. One is about the Pashley brothers, who were pioneer aviators at the first part of the 20th century, and the other text that I've set is a news report about Jakes Grace and Lewis Craythorne, who are two kite surfers based in Worthing. And in 2009 they were the first people to kite surf over Worthing Pier in a huge storm. So I've taken these two texts about things which happened in Worthing almost 100 years apart from one another, and I've cut them up and cut between them to make my own rather different text. You know what, I think the easiest way to explain this is actually to show you the text. So first of all, here's the text about the Pashley brothers in 1913. The Pashley brothers ran a pleasure flight business at Shoreham. Eric Pashley returned to Bognor on the 14th of June that year. He then offered joyrides to the public for 2 guineas a head. On the penultimate flight of the day, however, he experienced a few difficulties, and, according to the local press, Mr. Pashley came in at a faster pace than usual, and it looked as if he would hit the pier. Fortunately, the plane missed the pier, but it scattered the waiting crowd as it came in to land safely. And now here's a text about the kite surfers in 2009. Kite surfing over Worthing Pier. That's right, over the pier. It was good weather for kites, but this was a bit extreme. Kite surfer Jakes Grace took advantage of gusts up to 40 miles per hour to propel himself over Worthing Pier. He cleared it easily and landed safely in the choppy sea. Moments later, his friend Lewis Craythorne followed and made the dangerous feat look quite a breeze. In fact, the gale force winds made it a hazardous jump. So the way I did this actually was I copied these texts out and then I printed it out and literally took scissors, cut the printout up, and played around rearranging them on my desk until I came up with a narrative that I liked. And this is my text. The Pashley brothers ran a pleasure flight business at Shoreham. It was good weather for kites, but this was a bit extreme. He offered joyrides to the public for 2 guineas a head to propel himself over Worthing Pier. That's right, over the pier. On the penultimate flight of the day, however, he experienced a few difficulties. The gale force winds made it a hazardous jump. Mr. Pashley came in at a faster pace than usual, and it looked as if he would hit the pier. Moments later, his friend Lewis Craythorne followed. Fortunately, the plane missed the pier, and landed safely in the choppy sea, and made the dangerous feat look quite a breeze. Now, obviously, in a sense, it's a little bit silly, and yeah, a lot of my music is maybe a bit comic at times, but that doesn't mean it's not a serious piece of art as well. What I really liked about this is that the text I've come up with is historically impossible, it's got kind of non sequiturs in, it doesn't quite make sense. It seems to suggest some kind of bizarre occasion where the public are paying to have little kind of trips where they're propelled over the pier. But because it doesn't make sense, it's kind of like, you know how when you've had a dream that you don't quite remember? I wanted it to have that quality. And because this is exploring the boundary between documentary and art, I wanted to get away from it just being kind of relaying actual meaningful texts and start exploring when meaning breaks down. I've used scissors on the music as well. So earlier this year I wrote this piece, which is a short orchestral piece for the Worthing Orchestra, and I've cut up bits of this piece and incorporated it into the bigger piece. In places I've added new musical lines over the existing lines in this piece. So if you've enjoyed this video and you haven't done so already, then please subscribe to the channel, because I'm doing one of these composing vlogs every Sunday night. Next week I'm going back down to Worthing. I'm going to meet the Worthing Choral Society, who have a choir singing this first piece. I'm also going to meet the Boundstone Chorus, who are also going to participate in the big piece that I'm doing for 2019. So you'll gradually see this piece being put together. So I will see you guys then. Does this look stupid? I don't care.